Hey there! Before I get to the PiHole video, I want to take some time to thank you for all of the interest you've shown in the Raspberry Pi tutorial series that I've started. And I started the series last time by promising to give away 2 free Raspberry Pi Zero Ws to 2 random viewers. And the way you entered was by commenting on easyprogramming.net, on YouTube, in my channel in this video, as well as a couple of Reddit threads that I opened. And between the 3 platforms, I've received 292 different entries, and it is a lot more than I expected. So thank you all. I tried to acknowledge every single entry myself. If I missed you, I do apologize, but I did try. And because of the number of people who were interested, instead of giving away 2, I went out and got a 3rd Raspberry Pi Zero W, so I'll be giving away 3 of them in this video. And to pick winners, I'll be using this winner picker JavaScript app that I created. Just about 25 lines of code. You can go to GitHub to get the code and see how it's done. It'll just take a list of input and the number of winners, which I'll specify as 3, and it'll output the 3 winners. You can have your name here up to 3 different times if you commented on all 3 platforms, which a few people have. And if you win, I'll contact you, get your address. If you're an international winner, I will see how much shipping costs. If it's a little bit more, I'll ship it out to you. But if it's way more than I can afford at this moment, we can talk about shipping. And if it's too much, I will pick a replacement winner. So let's pick 3 winners from the list and see who won. So here is the list of the 292 entries from all 3 platforms. Thank you again for all of your interest, and good luck to all of you. So I'll submit and see who won. So David Mishenko, Bugsman03, and Shriek, congratulations. If you are a winner, I will be contacting you in a day or so asking you for an address. Again, a PO box is okay as well. If you didn't win, don't fret. I'll be giving away more Raspberry Pis in the next video, so subscribe for news on that, and a winner will be announced 2 weeks after that, just like I did here. Enjoy the PiHole video below. Thanks for watching. So in our project today, we're going to create a headless PiHole with a Raspberry Pi Zero. This is the version 1.3. This is not Pi Zero W, so it doesn't come with built-in Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi isn't always the most secure connection, so I thought I'd create this project using an Ethernet OTG cable connected to my router directly so that I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. So what I have in front of you right here is just a Raspberry Pi Zero. As you can see, this is the old Pi. I do have soldered some headers here. You don't need them, and a heatsink here. These are both optional. So this is just a regular Raspberry Pi Zero. I also have the pluggable USB Ethernet OTG cable to connect to my router directly, and of course a micro SD card. So we're going to install Raspbian on this shortly, and then PiHole, and then I'll show you how to do some quick configurations with this. The only items missing in this video right here are the Ethernet cable and the micro USB power cable, which you should be using if you're following this tutorial. So let's get to the next screen. So we're booting up the Raspberry Pi after we've installed Raspbian so that we can take a look at what our IP address is. I'm sorry the screen is a little bit small, I'm just recording it through my camera. And once the boot is done, at the very bottom, right before it asks you for your username, it will tell you what the IP address is. If the connection to the Ethernet and to your modem worked properly. If you are running DHCP, it'll assign a random IP address, and if you did not, if you assign a static IP address, you'll see the static IP address. So before it asks me for the thing, I'll try and zoom in here. So zoomed in and clarified a little bit, and you can see that this line here, it says my IP address is 192.168.1.195. It was assigned by my router. If you don't have a static IP defined in your router, you'll get a random IP, and now we can use this IP address to connect to our PiHole, our Raspberry Pi, using SSH. If you haven't enabled SSH already by following the previous tutorial, I do recommend you turn that on, because we will not be using a monitor or a keyboard attached to our Raspberry Pi to get this done. So let's get to the next screen. So we saw that our IP address is 192.168.1.195. So open up your favorite SSH client. I'm using PuTTY. You can use anything you want, and just type in the IP address and we'll connect to it. So press open, and for the first time you'll get a PuTTY security alert. You press yes. You want to log in as Pi, and the default password is Raspberry. Feel free to change it using PW password without the vowels. I'm just going to pause. There you go. I just paused for a second just to increase the font size so that it's easier for you to read. And now we're going to install PiHole. So if you just go to pi-hole.net, you will see really amazing documentation on the entire software. The first thing you'll notice is installed by running this one command. So I'm just going to highlight this and then just going to paste it here and then run it. And this installation will take a little while. It may look like it's getting stuck at some point, but ignore it. While this is happening in the foreground, I am going to go here in Easy Programming and show you that the ads here will disappear once we enable PiHole and change our computer's DNS server to our new Raspberry Pi IP address. Sure, ads are my best source of revenue for these for my website here and for all my projects, but I don't do this for the money. So if you do want to support me, look at becoming a Patreon, and let's see what this is. So I'm just gonna pause the video. I'm just gonna let it go through. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit so that you don't have to wait through it. So all that took just a few minutes, and after a while your SSH screen will turn into this, where it'll ask you for some more input in this cool GUI format, and it just says install or will transform your device into a network-wide ad blocker. Just press OK. PiHole is free, just some more information. Press OK, and it'll ask you to select an upstream DNS provider. So this is the DNS that PiHole will use to make sure that the website you're visiting is a legitimate website, that the IP address exists, etc. Do what a DNS server does. You can pick any of these. You can even pick custom. Later on I will switch it to the custom Cloudflare IP address 1.1.1.1, but for now I'm just going to do Google, keep it simple, and do IPv4. And this is my current gateway. It says do you want your current network address settings as a static address? So yes, it'll be 192.168.1.195. That's my gateway. Blah blah blah, IP conflict, whatnot. Do you wish to install the web interface? I would recommend that you do this so that you can administer PiHole. Press it on. Do you want to log queries? Of course I do. And let it run, and it'll take just not much longer for it to download the web interface and do the rest of the install. So that installation took a few more minutes, and at the end of it, it'll give you your current IP address, where the log file will be, your admin interface, and the login password, which is just randomly generated password. And you just press OK, and there you go. Installation is complete. So before I do this, I want to just show you some of the differences that will happen. So I'm going to open my JavaScript console or my network console here, and I'm going to refresh easyprogramming.net, and we'll see just how long it takes to finish. Although I love Google ads for making me some money here, I do end up using AdBlock on my own website because it just loads a lot and it does take up a lot of bandwidth. So as you can see, it just loaded a lot of stuff. It took about 11 seconds to completely finish. So we'll keep this in mind, and then we'll clear our cache and then run refresh again with PiHole installed without any of these ads loading, and show you just how much faster everything is. So let's access our control panel. So the 192.196 blah blah blah. .1.195. If you do this, you just get this cool PiHole thing. Just do admin. And I'm already logged in. because, you know, I tested this a little bit earlier. But I'll log out, and when you log in, it asks you for a password. You know, I use LastPass. You log in, and you get this cool little dashboard. It's really neat, right? So, in order to test PiHole and see if it's working, we'll need to open up our network configurations and change our DNS server. So I open up my network and sharing center, and you know, I do have a couple of networks because I do use virtual computers at some point. Go to this one, open this up, you'll have your actual internet status. Click on properties, double click on the IPv4 settings, and where it says use the following DNS server address, we'll do 192.168.1.195. We'll do validate settings upon exit. You don't need an alternate DNS server. But for me, I do have one because this will be once I reinstall everything. This will be my second PiHole Raspberry Pi that I have configured for redundancy, just in case one goes down, the other will still be up. So I'll close this, and now I should be connected to Raspbian. Now, if I refresh this without clearing my cache, it'll still load the ads and stuff, or does it? Let's see, it's still loading. Oh, look at that. It blocked it. But I'm going to clear my cache anyway. Empty cache, hard reload. Okay, one last time, and then see how quickly it finishes. And look, it finished in 1.51 seconds. Earlier it was 11 seconds, and it's because of this little Google ad here and this one here. And so we close this over here. You can see it's pretty fast, and when we go to our PiHole administration, it already updated automatically, saying, you know, it blocked 15 queries, 25%, 25.9% blocked, which is a lot. And it tells you what IP address. This is my local IP address, as well as top domains. And if you go into the query log, it'll tell you exactly what it blocks, including, you know, Discuss, some Microsoft, like YouTube, Google.com, they were allowed, but like DoubleClick.net, which is Google's ad server, was blocked, was PiHole. If you see something that you don't like, you can click on blacklist, and it'll add to the custom blacklist. Or if you don't want to block, like, you know, referred.discuss.com, you click on whitelist, and it'll whitelist it for the next time you log on. You can also look at tools and go to the tail PiHole.log, which is pretty cool. So now if I refresh, I quickly go here, it updates this as something is happening. So it tails the logs. You may have heard of that term before. And it tells you exactly what happened and what got blocked, what didn't get blocked, what went through, etc. So it's pretty cool. And like I said before, I have two PiHole set up. I have another one on 192.168.1.185, which I will be using as well for redundancy. So I'll be going back here and using that as my alternative. I hope you've learned how to install PiHole on a Raspberry Pi Zero using an Ethernet OTG cable. If you have any questions, please ask below. Also, you can ask on easyprogramming.net. I will post all of these Raspberry Pi videos there eventually. Thanks for watching.